All right, I don't know if you can see me, guys. I think you probably can. Please let me know if you can. This is an exclusive, get my thoughts together, live show from the shoreline of Sowa Pan. It is the first live broadcast that I've done on the ASPW channel, so I'm hoping it's work. So my suggestion is comment on the YouTube channel. Don't comment on aspwexperience.com. Just get the link, go into YouTube, and then I'll read all of your comments on YouTube, on the one place. Otherwise I'm having to go to Patreon, look at your questions and remarks there, and ASPW Experience and YouTube. So if you can just do that for me, it'll make things, I think, easier. So if somebody could just tell me, can you see me? That's all I need to know at this moment, because I think everything's working, and I'd be grateful for somebody to tell me if it's working. Excellent connections, stream settings. I'm getting excellent connections. All right. So we are officially starting in 5 minutes time, but I have no idea if it's working. This is the challenge with live shows. They're always quite a challenge technically. Is the link I gave you the correct link? Because I don't know. I think I gave you the correct link. I can't see any other link that I might have given you. Is there a share link? Can't see a share link, so just forgive me, guys. Here's the details. Where's the share link? Customization, monetization. I think it's working. Just if somebody could just say to me it's working. If I don't get a comment somewhere, I'm going to assume that it's not working. I have no viewers, which means it's not working. I don't know of another place where to get another link. I just can't find it anywhere, because I have a feeling that the link I sent you is wrong, but I don't know where to find the other link. Share. Let's try share. Okay, let's try this. Video link. Close. Okay, let's try this. Okay, and edit post. Next, save. Experience. Let's try edit. Let's try this link. No. Come on. Where's that link? There. Copy. Unlink. Delete. Post. Update. So I did a test on my other channel, 5 minutes or so, and it worked. This is the real one. Am I getting any viewers? Live streaming? No viewers, which means it's not working. Okay, I've got four current viewers. Okay, right. That must be working. Can you just let me know in the chat? So just to repeat myself, if you can do all your comments and questions and things on the YouTube feed, not on ASPW Experience or on Patreon. Otherwise, I've got 3 places to look for your comments. But if you all just go into YouTube and just do live chat, then those comments will come up. Okay, Gary Henwood Fox, you can hear me. Fantastic. Okay, that's very, very good. All right, I'm just going to wait a little while for a few more people to join, but if you could just let me know that you're there, I'd be grateful. So, Robert, good day, Robert. All good. All right, I'm going to start then. It's 2 o'clock. So I'm camped at a place called, well, this is Sowa Pan. I'm south of the road. Now, if you go into forexoverland.com and look at the far right menu, and you'll see Andrew Live. And if you go there, you'll see a map of Botswana, and you'll see my track that I have taken and the exact location on the edge of Sowa Pan that I am now sitting. And I was absolutely alone. I arrived here at about 4 o'clock last night, and the silence is absolutely deafening. Which I love about this place. 20 minutes ago, heard the rumbling of a car. 4 guys on a Botswana Defence Force, a Land Cruiser. And as always, all my interactions with the Botswana Defence Forces have always been polite and professional. And they said, what are you doing here? And I told them what I was doing here, and I said, that's nice. And they were looking at the truck, and they walked around. We had a nice chat, and they were here for 10 minutes and said, well, you be safe. We saw your tracks, and maybe we thought you had got stuck. I said I would never cross the Pan, because anybody who would cross the Pans would be absolutely mad. I'm just going to get the camera to follow me. Last night I arrived, and because I gave up on South Island, I know the Makari enough that that area, once it's wet, you cannot cross the Pans. And I thought, well, maybe down a little further south here. It's actually not much further south, to be honest with you, but it's in a part of a Pan that it's one of the last parts of the Pan to get water. I thought maybe the track that goes, it's about 10 k's to Kokonya Island, might be firm enough for me to drive on. Not a chance. I couldn't even walk. So I filmed the whole thing, and I told a bit of a story about the last time I was here, which was in 96 or 97, and I got terribly stuck. And the one time before that was 1990. It was just before Gunnar and I got married. And we crossed in my Land Rover. We got all the way across. And the Botswana Army guy said to me, and I managed to cross in my Land Rover in 1990, and ever since then, and he said, knowledgeable. He said, yeah, with a Land Rover Defender, he said, you'll get further than you will with this. He said, but they're heavy, and I'm looking at your truck, it's pretty heavy. He was right. The Land Rover wouldn't make it. Not a chance. This, definitely not a chance. The back would just break through. Because I've got a lot of weight on the back, and that's the trouble with these setups and these vehicles. Weight tends to move aft as you equip them, and as much as you try and get water forward, This one with the water tanks, the way they're configured and everything, is definitely heavier than my Australian troop carrier. I can feel it when driving it. I mean, it drives very, very nicely. It's not a patch on the ride. The ride isn't a patch. Since I fitted those new shocks onto my Aussie Troopy, it's not a patch on this. I hit these bumps and everything, and I think, oh, Superior actually offered to send me some shocks for this, but I knew I would be strapped for time. I knew it, and so these are fine. These Terrain Tamer shocks, good shocks, nothing wrong with them. They're not great shocks, so you know. Let's see, how many of you are there? We've got 11 people now. That I like that. 11 of you out there. I don't need more. I don't need masses. Just 11 of you found the time and are awake at this time. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'll just show you a little bit about my surroundings. Please feel free to fire questions at me, whatever you like. Let's say I'll go for an hour or so, and then we'll see how it goes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn the camera around a little bit. So if I do this, and then what are you seeing? You're seeing me. Is it following me still? Yes, it is. So in the far distance there is the mainland. Over there through the window, unfortunately the camera is on a wire, it's on a tether, so I can't actually give you. I'll tell you what I might do is just close this door so you can get a better view of that surrounding me. Close this a little bit as well. That's not going to work. And then if I do this. Alright, can you see a little better now? You can see the vastness of this place. It's really quite something. So that is about as far as I can take the camera. So you can see there's Kokonyo Island. There's a gap there. If you look closely, there's the mainland, and there's a gap where you can just see horizon, and then there's Kokonyo. So if you go onto that page, oh, hello camera. Hello camera. All right, I'm going to put you straight like that. Okay, I'm going to do that again. So if you look here, there's the mainland. Okay, then there's a gap. Can you see that gap there? There's a gap, and then there's an island. And so that, can you see that there? Now, so that is Kokonyo Island, and it's 10 kilometers across. Then if I look around me, I'm going to take it over to this side here. Okay. So can you see that there? A very, very pleasant breeze has come up. Let's see, you can see that there. And that's basically my surroundings. And behind me is just bush. I'll tilt the camera around like that. You can see there, it's just bush. My solar panel there. So I had I've had a few problems with my electrical system. One of my batteries, I think, has failed. It was giving me very erratic reactions, and then the car turned off when it was at 48%, which means that one of the batteries is well, I've determined that I think one of the batteries is dead. I am not absolutely sure, but everything is pointing to that. And so I'm wondering if I need some water. Excuse me for a moment, I'm just going to grab some water. Alright, so how are we doing here, guys? Hello, Peter. We've got Gary, Robert, Peter, Tobister. Greetings from Bindoon. Nice bakery in Bindoon. German bakery. What speeds are you getting with the Starlink Mini? Okay, well over 200. Download. Upload a little bit. Why don't I do a quick test for you right now? So, later. It's insisting on doing soft. I disagree. Right, let's do a test. Starlink. Speed test. Start. So we've got 270, 280. You can see it there. Got a lot of reflection on the camera, on the screen. And then settled on 239. Download and upload 20. Slow. Upload is slow. Upload is slow. And that's the problem. Probably why it's okay. It's settled on 43. Still not very fast. So that is why you're getting some jumping. I have. Why am I not in frame there? It's quite weird. I'm not in frame. Let's have a look here. Yes, I am. It must be the delay. Okay. Seems like about a 10-12 second delay on what's being broadcast, and I reduced the size to 720 instead of HD to help with the signal, but the bumping is hello from the banks of the Kabango, Peter. Nice. Right, okay, cool. Greetings from Switzerland, from Michael. 404 Overland Wanderer is saying good day to me. Tell me where you are. Hi Andrew, quick question. Make and model rear trash bag. Okay, it's made by Gobi X. It is the smartest designed rear trash bag in the world. It's really, really well thought out. Gobi X, a Cape Town company. I used to really like the camp cover one, and that is a nice one. The camp cover is a nice one. But the owners were just completely oblivious to any comments or anything about them, and not just from me. The trouble is with it has so much Velcro on it that you open it and it closes, and then you open it and the other side's closed, and then you need two hands because there's so much Velcro on it and zips. You don't need Velcro and zips. You don't need both. So it was a bit awkward to use, but it was very, very well. The way it mounted on the tire was really good, so it didn't look like an old man's scrotum, as so many of them do, like Trasharoo, and there are a few other Australian makes, and they're awful things. It's very, very nice. Did you do anything to the engine? Yes, yes, indeed. It's a different engine altogether. So we together decided there wasn't enough time, money, everything to do the FTE. However, we will be doing an FTE. The story basically is that they said, okay, I gave them some money, and I said, that's how much money I've got to spend. And they said, okay, we've done the basic, the engine has been rebuilt, now we need injectors, pump, intercooler, turbo. Those are not cheap items. And so I said, I'm not in a situation to throw more money at it. A vehicle that I use once a year, no, I can't do that. I just can't do that. I'm happy with the 1HZ. It works. It works. It's reliable. That's the most important thing. It's reliable. So they replaced it with another one that they had. It wasn't lying around. You'll see in the main videos that I will produce. There's quite a nice story behind it, and you'll see what the story is all about. But this 1HZ's got about 350,000 on it. It doesn't burn any oil. It's smooth. It performs like a 1HZ should do, and so I'm quite happy. These wasps are just huge, and it's performing fine. So and I sat with Hubert and I said, you know, it really is up to you. I know you want the story. I know you want the story. I would discourage the wasps because they're looking for places to nest. And I said, it's really up to you, because the story, I would love to do one of FTE. Be a great story, but I'm not chasing that elusive YouTube algorithm. It would be good for me because it would be nice to have it in the truck, and it would be a nice story to have, but it's of less value to me now than it once was, because I'm not chasing the story as much. This is my story. This is my story. This I'm prepared to chase, but vehicle builds, less so. Well, you could say I'm with what about the van? Yeah, that's a big story. But anyway, the point is that how much do I invest in the vehicle? How much is it value to me in terms of the story? FTE, be nice to have, but it's not a need to have. Hubert said to me, and he said a number of times how he benefits a great deal from the publicity I give him. I won't go into details, but he's very grateful for that. Great, that's what it's all about. That's why this works. So he said, I want to do the FTE conversion, even if it costs me. It's worth it for me. And my reaction to that is, only you can decide that. You put the story, you put a value to the story. I put a value to the story. I've now added quite a bit to money-wise to the new engine, and I've said to him there won't be more coming in 2026. Okay, that's it. So what can we do? Because I don't want to keep this old engine. I could put in quite a new 1HZ, a newish 1HZ for the money that I've given them, but there's no story in it, you see. I get a newish engine, a newer engine, better value for me, but it's not a story. He said he wants the story. So he wants to do the FTE, and he said to me, if all goes to plan, I will bridge the gap and make an FTE work. So the story continues. I know it's a very long-winded reply. Michael, greetings from Switzerland. I'm camping at Cuthclyn Regional Park, Gembrook, Victoria. Gembrook, I didn't nearly say Gembrook. Afrikaans, almost, almost. Caught it just in time. So please feel free to ask me anything you want to know about this vehicle, the van. The van, man, the van. I've just been sent pictures of the bull bar. Oh man. It is so good. It is absolutely sensational. That bull bar, absolutely amazing. The 48 volt system, we're seeing things in the 48 volt system that we never expected. In fact, we are building a kind of hybrid. It's kind of dawned on us that there's so much we can do with it that it becomes almost like a hybrid, but not really like a hybrid, but a hybrid in a way. So I am so excited about the van. So much so, I've got a video coming out not this Friday, not tomorrow, but the next Friday, about the bar work on the van. It looks stunning. And also I'm actually announcing that I think at this moment I will build my own HiAce. The one we've got now is a product demonstrator, technical demonstrator. Yeah, we know that, and to find out if it's the thing that I want to do for 20, because I need to build a vehicle in 26, and the obvious choice would be a van. The trouble is with the van, we know from past experience that bus 4x4, those vans typically last the mines for about 3 years, and then they get rid of them because the front cradle and suspension needs rebuilding at that point. And that's what I've heard from them. But that's 3 years of hard work. And a Land Cruiser like this would be 5 years of hard work before they turn it around and get another one. So it's still reasonable. But we're saying the biggest weakness of the van, without question, is its ride, is its suspension. Its suspension and ride are ordinary. And so we're doing a lot of research right now to upgrade the suspension. There's even been talk of doing a solid axle version, not by Bus 4x4, by somebody else. It's just talk. I think that's too difficult to do. I might be wrong, but I think it's too difficult to do. So but the van is just, it has such potential, such amazing potential, that I think I want the challenge of building my own. This vehicle is still a little bit of a frustration though. I'll get to that now. What are your plans for Botswana part before heading to Zimbabwe? So not a lot actually. Who asked me that question? Is that Peter? Not a lot, because the pans are just underwater. The last time I saw the pans with this much water on it was in 2014. I came here with Kate, and I didn't even try and go to South Island. I didn't even take the track towards it. No point. Just no point. I know this area well enough. And so, as I said earlier, I thought, let me see what Kokonia might be like. Forget it. In fact, it doesn't matter what I do with this camera, you're not going to be able to see it. But early this morning, after I woke up, I can just see it now. There's a thin white line. Flamingos. Thousands of flamingos that flock to Sowa pan when it fills with water to feed on the brine. They come from all over the place. Thousands of pelicans, flamingos. Some pelicans, mostly flamingos. Those are mostly flamingos. So I thought, well, I would go up to Nata tomorrow. See, camping at Nata is not fun. It's just not fun camping at Nata. It's too close to the road. It's noisy. It's just not a nice campsite. I went there last year with Jeremy. Was it last year or was it 23? 23, an Africa trip with Jeremy. Yeah, last year. And we camped, and it was very noisy. But I got some beautiful photographs of the wildebeest on the grasslands of the northern Makarikari. I might go and try and do that again, even though camping will be a bit horrid. I'll spend the day in the car around that area, just kind of chilling out in the car in that area, and then camp the night. I'm thinking about doing that tomorrow, because I've got now another 2 nights, is it? What day is it today, guys? Thursday. It's Thursday today, isn't it? I think it's Thursday today. This is a great thing about just kind of, it's Thursday. It's the 1st. My watch says 31st, so I haven't sorted that out. So I have got 2 nights, and on Sunday I need to head to, so I've got 2 nights. Just as well I checked. Remember, I thought I had 3. 2 nights, and then I head to Bulawayo, I will overnight at Bulawayo because it'll take me most of the day to get from here, Francistown, cross the border into Zimbabwe, and drive to Bulawayo. I've got a B&B booked at Bulawayo. Won't be camping, and then the following day, I drive up to a place called Masasa Lodge, which is in a place called Chinhoyi, which is about an hour and a half northwest of Harare, en route to Mana Pools, and we're all gathering. So that's Kate, Gwen, of course, Kate's husband Cameron, and then Cameron's parents in their Prado are meeting us all there. And then we have got an amazing trip planned. Amazing. I'm planning to do another live show about 14th, 15th, 16th, somewhere around there at Tashinga, on the banks of Lake Kariba, overlooking Lake Kariba. I'm planning to do that as a second live show on this trip, but then I'll get everybody involved. It'll be actually quite interesting. It won't be just boring on me. It'll be everybody. So 2 nights and then I have to head out. So I'll decide what to do with that extra night that I've got. All right. So how many people? We've got 24 of you. 24. So cool. Okay. John, g'day in Melbourne. How does the ride compare High Ace Troopy? It's a superb question. Superb question. Couldn't have asked it better one myself. Okay, so on the open road, that High Ace, as it is now, is more comfortable to drive than my troop carrier, even my Australian Troopy. The cab is that much bigger. The ride is okay, but we were on tar. Okay, when the High Ace gets onto rough ground, it screams for help. Now, we haven't driven it heavy, so I think it tends, we've loaded it a little bit now, and it's actually a little bit better with a bit of weight on it, which is not really surprising. But then it'll get to the point where we would need an extra leaf spring at the back, and that's, once we've built the camper in there, the extra leaf in the back will be required. But the vehicle is massively undershocked on rough ground. So on the open road, it eats up miles, it's more comfortable to drive, it's got better seats than Troopy. And it's a bit noisy, but that I can sort out. I did a bit of soundproofing in the back, but I did no engine soundproofing at all. Ran out of time. But I can get that good. If we can get these shock absorbers that we found, we reckon that we can make a massive difference to the ride of Troopy. This vehicle compared to this is the worst of the 3 by quite a fair measure. And that's because, well, it's the Troopy, and as you know, Troopy is a little bit cramped inside. It's not a roomy car to drive. The 70 series is not roomy at all. It's not wide. And the springing is good. This is not oversprung. The springing is good. These are exactly the same springs. They're the Terrain Tamer. Progressive in the front and 50 to 700 kilo parabolics at the back. Is good. It's heavier than my Australia Troopy by a reasonable margin, but the shock is let down by shock absorbers. Not that there's anything wrong with these Terrain Tamer shocks. They're fine. They're absolutely fine. They're good shocks. They're not great shocks. So every now and again I'm thinking, oh crikey, I wish I had when it gets rough, I wish I had those brilliant superior shocks which just transformed my Troopy. And again, this is a big if we can get the ride of the High Ace better on rough ground, I'll build myself one. But at the moment, it's not good enough. It's got to be better on rough ground. Corrugations and rough, rocky ground. I had an interesting, you'll see it in the video, on the way here. It's quite an easy bush track. I've got my grass net on the front of the car. There was quite high grass, and there was a huge thing. Water had just dug this great big hole, and the locals had tried to make They tried to make a kind of make-do bridge with logs and pieces of corrugated iron. The trouble is the entrance was a good 30 degrees. Now troopies are heavy on top, so they tend to slide. Before many vehicles will slide on a side slope, troopy will start to slide because of its center of gravity. So as I approached it, I did put this little camera out pointing the other side, and I'll put it into the show, but I started going forward and it started sliding. Now there was a huge hole on the left, a bottomless hole. I could see it was just mud. I get a wheel in there, I'm staying there the afternoon. So it started sliding, and I stopped it, I got back and started sliding again, and my third attempt I actually went higher with more of a lean, but because I had more of a lean, I turned down the lean. I also locked my rear diff lock, because as I got my front wheels on the grippy log, I knew that the back was going to slide out, and as it was starting to slide out, I applied a little bit of power, knowing that both those back wheels, even the one on the lower part of the vehicle with the least traction, was going to move the car forward, and it's exactly what it did. And it actually went forward, and then the car leveled out. It was a bit of a sphincter tightening moment, because I'm alone. I don't want to get into that kind of trouble, but I knew that if I didn't, go on, go away, go away, go away, go away, go on, go. They're big, aren't they? Sure. I knew that if I didn't get across, that was it. I couldn't. There's no other road here. It's the only road. So it made me prioritize things. It was good though, but it'll be in the video. Okay, what did you do for food on this trip? Are the borders very sticky with fresh produce? Yes. In Botswana, I've only crossed one veterinary fence. They didn't stop and check the car. But basically, in Botswana, don't carry pork anywhere. No bacon, no pork. Don't, because that's their most strong sticking point. They can confiscate beef. I have a small amount of beef in the car, knowing that if they confiscated it, it's no big deal. I always declare what I've got. I'll never tell them I haven't got something. I just won't do that. It's my drone battery. I will always be honest with them. Most of the time they're friendly. They'll sometimes look in the fridge, sometimes they won't. And I've got lots of fruit, apples and nachos and things like that. But I haven't had an issue. But it depends what part of Botswana. I'm going to hit one tomorrow as I go north, and if I try, it's called the Dukwe quarantine fence. If I try to go to Nata, which go left, I'll hit the Dukwe quarantine fence, and they will probably stop me. Hi Andrew, I saw your van this week through the rear bar was a transformation. Andrew. Not on yet, can't wait to see it finish. I'm just out of Melbourne. Oh, that rear bar is something, but that front bar that they're designing, video coming up soon. That bar. Did you fit spacers or offset rims for the rear axle? Gary, I did nothing. I've not changed the spacers or done the rear axle correction. It has the narrow rear axle on this car. I've done nothing. I can't get wheels. I can't get offset wheels in South Africa at 16-inch, only 17-inch. I don't want 17-inch wheels. Forget it. Nope. So I decided to live with it. And honestly, you feel it, but it's not bad. It doesn't make it unpleasant to drive. I'm fine with it. I know you have tried them more. What are your thoughts on the two 85/75/16 KO3s versus 265/75/16 on a Land Cruiser V8? So if I was having this car on a V8, this Hansi, this car on a V8, I would put the two 85/75/16s. I don't know the KO3, but I know the KO2 is an excellent tyre, as long as they were made in America, not the ones that were made, certainly not the early ones that were made in Thailand, I think. They were very poor. But with a 1HZ, I got a 1HZ and I've got the smaller wheels on it. I would be tempted to, when the FTE comes in, change these for 285s. But if you want the best wheel size for a troop carrier is a 255/85. But you cannot get them in all terrains, except in a Cooper, and I don't want to run Cooper. So will the bigger tyre give tangible benefits? Yes, with the bigger engine. You'll have a lower gear ratio. And depending on which gearbox you've got in the V8. See, they changed the early V8s, and the V8 still sold in South Africa, have the old gearbox. In other words, the fourth gear ratio is lower than the one produced in Australia from 2017. It's a higher fifth gear ratio. So with the smaller wheels, the old gearbox will rev even higher. But with the V8, with the older gearbox, with the bigger wheels, big improvement. It's worth it. If you put the bigger wheels with the V8 with a newer gearbox, you'll be finding you'll be changing down into fourth a little more often. But it's still fine. It's still fine. It's just, the V8 actually likes to rev a bit. The rev range of that V8 that's why they put that older gearbox in there, to make it at 110, give optimum fuel economy at 110 k's an hour. Was that older gearbox, but it was noisy, and everybody wanted to lower. So what they did is they put and this was the thing, they put the other gearbox in it, which had a longer fifth gear. They changed the injectors and did some mapping of the engine and a few other things, and they changed the intercooler as well, and which improved the fuel economy. But the longer gear on fifth gear actually didn't improve the fuel economy, because the engine actually liked to rev a little bit higher. And so at the end of the day, fuel economy didn't change, but it was quieter to drive. Yeah, the longer fifth gear, generally speaking, is the better idea. But then put the bigger wheels on. Yeah. When are you planning on going to Zambezi? James, I don't actually know. I was chatting to Jeremy about doing something with him next year, and he asked specifically, can we do Zambia again? And I said, definitely worth thinking about. Not actually too sure. I really want to take Heine and his family to Africa. They've never been. I'd like him to, and Heine's a great guy to travel with. I enjoy traveling with him immensely. Jeremy too. We have. I think Jeremy, myself, and Heine, boys' trip to Zambia, maybe, depending if Heine's family wants to come, that will change things. But if just the three of us, maybe Zambia, that'd be good, eh? I think that'd be good. I wouldn't get any filming done at all. 240 AC compressor a goer, John. I have yet to decide, but I think the principle is brilliant. All right, the principle is brilliant. The way I've done it, good start, but I'm not convinced. But the concept, brilliant. But the trouble is with that is you're now relying on a compressor that is, you're now relying on your AC working as well. So it's not simplifying things necessarily, but it is making things more efficient. So I think, yes, I think so. We're putting one in the van as another part of its, the test, equipment test regime. But I think it's definitely worth looking at. Tire politics is a good topic. Seems now even 255/85 MTs are getting very hard to get. I know, and 255/85 is not a particularly popular size, and it's because they don't look fat. and the market wants to look fat. And fat isn't the thing. Tall is the thing. Tall is what you want off-road, not fat. So I agree with you. I would have 255, 85. If I could find them in all terrains, I'd have them on this and my Africa Troopy. And the van, I have to tell you, and the van. Perfect size for the van. You want a tall tire. When you let it down, you get a long footprint. You don't want wide. You want a little bit wide, but not too. But you want tall. You want tall. Tall is the key. And 85 is tall. Okay. How are we doing now? All right. Fire some more questions from you guys. What else can I tell you about? I think I need a drink. I think I need another Coke. I generally don't drink that many, but when I'm on these trips and it's this thirst making, I drink more. I think I'll have another one. Hope you don't mind. I do have a cold beer for me later. I'm so grateful for this wind because it's pretty hot out there, and this wind is keeping things nice and cool. What can I tell you about this? The Alucab roof conversion. It's a different approach to the headspace. It's funny how designers tend to get carried. I think they get a little bit carried away sometimes. Maybe. Okay, so now what they did at Alucab is they increased the height of the lid with the main purpose of making it easier to close when the blankets and pillows are inside. That was the main purpose. They were very successful. But then they thought, what else can we do? So they've got a little table thing that lifts up, so you can lie up top there and then tilt the back like a hospital bed and lift yourself up, and then you watch a movie. And they've got something else, a piece of wood that comes down. I'm not sure what that's all about, to be honest with you. Maybe you put the TV on that or something. All that has done is decrease the amount of space for the bedding. Alucab, if you watch this, your mattress sucks piles. It causes piles. That's not a mattress. So I've actually asked Gwyn while in Australia, and she's bought a mattress topper to put on it, because even I'm finding this uncomfortable, and I can live with a hard mattress. She can't live with a hard mattress. She struggles with it. So I've said, you've got to do something. So now I got the mattress. They're a terrible piece of foam that they call a mattress topper, duvets and things, and go on, go away, go on. There's no place to nest. And now what's happening is that at the back there's a flap that you climb in and out, and on it there's a piece of mattress. Now with my headspace, I actually remove those two pieces of mattresses because A, it makes it easier to shut it and close it. B, because of the angle of the headspace is so much higher, you actually sleep with your head to the forward part of the vehicle. Okay, so those mattresses at the rear end are completely unnecessary. Here they are necessary. So while I leave my bedding up top and my pillow up top, that piece of mattress I've got to bring down, otherwise I can't close the lid, because the space is being used up with all of their paraphernalia. I think they've gone too far. They've had a good idea. Yeah, let's make it easier to close, because it was a bit. Let's solve that problem. Fantastic. All right, what else can we do? We can do this. Yeah. The first problem that they tried to solve is no longer solved. Funny that, eh? I don't think they can help themselves by trying to make it a little bit better than the competition. Just want to make sure nothing's rubbing here. I can hear some noise. There you go. That'll stop it. So, but it's very nice. They refined the design well. The lighting is far better than it was, but it was really bad before. But they've done something properly nice with the lighting. I like that. The finish is very, very much better. So it's great. It's fantastic. Which one would I choose if I had building a troopy now? Which one would I choose if I had the choice of both? Headspace. But it's more expensive. Cooking this trip, what fuel type? Okay, I got my little, I've got a little oven, the Travel Buddy oven, and the rest is gas. Small gas cooker, simple gas cooker, and a jet boil. So I'm using both. No inverter cooking, because my inverter is only an 800. So here's the thing about inverters. I have a coffee machine here, which I actually thought this was a 1200 Victron inverter, but it's actually not. It's 800. Anyway, so here's the thing about inverters. The 800 is a pretty useless inverter, if you think about it. It's fairly useless because it's plenty big enough for charging camera batteries and a laptop or something like that. It's plenty big enough, but it's not big enough for most other things. It's not big enough for a toaster. Marginal for a toaster. Typical toaster is 800 watts. These coffee machines, so I've got a coffee boiler and an espresso. An espresso is actually rated at 1200. It actually, if I turn off everything else, and I even had to turn off the Starlink, which uses hardly any juice at all. Turn off absolutely everything, it would work. Then once I've then done the coffee thing, I then do the milk boiler, and the milk boiler must run with everything else turned off, and then it will. So 800 is just coping, and the Victron is a good inverter. So if you had a less quality inverter at 800 watts, it wouldn't be able to run these two things. So kind of it's not terribly useful for anything, but if it was 1600, it's a lot more useful because you can run a toaster, you can run these coffee machine things. But I actually had a Red Arc 2000 watt inverter that I actually sent over to Africa and asked them to fit it, but it wouldn't fit in their electric box. The electric box in this car is actually quite small. It only allows two 100 amp batteries, and quite a small inverter. So I'm restricted. I would have preferred the idea of a 2000 watt inverter was a good idea because I need it, because I want to make coffee. It was only slightly bigger than the Victron. It was a noisy one, that old noisy 2000 watt Red Arc inverter. Bloody hell, it's noisy. But while you're making coffee, it's only for a few minutes and then you turn it off. Although, come to think of it, it would be making a noise all the time. And I'm on Starlink now. It would be making a noise when it's on. So actually, if I think about it, maybe they did me a favor. Because I think it would be worse if I had to live with that hum, that fan, all of the time. Apparently, their new ones are far, far better. Okay. Overland Wanderer. I'm currently in a Camp King Industries rooftop tent, and the mattress is quite comfortable for what it is. My setup was inspired by watching a lovely chap touring South Africa on YouTube years ago. That lovely chap. I wonder who it was. Couldn't have been me. I'm never lovely. What's your time management percentage on this trip? Driving, camping, imaging. John, as if I plan it. I can't give them percentages. Actually, maybe I can. The distances on the Zambia leg, my distance is up here from Cape Town, been 3 solid days. And then I spent 2 nights at a place called, and that was unscheduled, place called the Kama Rhino Sanctuary. I arrived in Cape Town and I had 4 days to do everything I needed. 5, and I could have done with an extra 2, but that's the way it always goes. I'm time limited. got in the car and drove for a full day. That first day drive was a grind. I did 11 hours, and that was a real push. Exhausted, found a B&B, and then headed up through Gaborone. I was worried about the border post being very busy. One of the fastest border crossings I've ever done at Ramabanta. No, that's the Lesotho border post. Anyway, south of Gabs, and then drove through Gaborone. But Sunday afternoon, I didn't expect the traffic to be bad. I was worried that there might be football matches. Sometimes these towns, you catch them on the wrong road during a football match on a Sunday, and you'll be sitting in the traffic for 3 hours. It can happen. It's happened to me more than once. So I was worried about that. So I left at 5 in the morning to give myself that extra time. And then I found myself looking for my lodgings, because my SIM card wouldn't work in Botswana, so I couldn't use the find directions. So it took me an hour, I suppose, to find my lodgings. Very quaint little place. Again, a B&B, not camping. I don't generally camp now if I'm pushing. I find I get too tired. I need fresh to get those hours on the road. And then from that place drove up here yesterday and arrived here at about 4 o'clock, which was a little later than I thought I might, but not a lot later. And so I was and I thought, let me go and see if I can get across there, because I'm going to worry about it all night. If I camp on the way, I'm going to worry about it the whole night. So I arrived last night and just water on the pans and forget it. So I drove up on the edge of the pans, which is still difficult because there was a little mud hole I couldn't recognize, and the car kind of sunk in a little bit. So you've got to be very, very careful driving on the edge of these pans. Anyway, so up to now, that time driving has been very intense. Today I've been trying to sort out my electrical system. That has taken a lot of my time today, because it was a very difficult diagnostic exercise. But from now, it's far more relaxed. So I'm going to do, as I said, I've got 2 more nights, and not sure what I'm going to do with them, but definitely go up to Nata and see if I can get closer to the flamingos. And then I've got to drive to Bulawayo, and I'm meeting the family. Then once we get to Mana Pools, which will be on Tuesday, we have quite a relaxing trip. It's not our total kilometers over the next 3 weeks is it's not much more than 1,000 kilometers, not much more. So and a lot of it's bush tracks, that'll be slow, and but there are only 2 days in there which will be a bit of a push. The rest of it is a couple of hours, 2 or 3 nights in one place. And we've also got a catamaran that is going to take us across. So a night spent on the catamaran, I believe, we're actually going all the way to Matusadona, which is on the south bank of Kariba. And then we have the guide is going to take us through. We might even meet the guide at Chinoy, but anyway, so there the ratio of driving camping is much more on the camping. We've also got some 3 or 4 really nice lodges, because, well, what's wrong with a nice lodge? That's always nice. Other side of safari life. And then the imaging and everything, of course, just has to go along with it. That's just part of it. But I arrived here last night, and the light, after the sun had gone down, the light, it's just sublime. There's this afterglow, that blue light on the white pan, man, it really is something. It really is. That's why I love this place so much. At the moment, it's just glaring and bright, and I'm relying very much on my solar panels to keep my batteries going, because I think I mentioned one of my batteries has failed. So I have to now be very careful on how I use the power. I have no surplus power at all. I have to be very conscious of what I'm doing. What vehicle spares have you brought for this vehicle compared to your 2.8? What I was thinking, starter motor for the 2.8. No, I'm not carrying a starter motor. I understand why you're saying that, because it's an automatic gearbox, and if you have a starter motor failure, you've got a problem. It is very true. What spares have I got? Belts, oil filter. I've got a wheel bearing. I've got an air conditioner idler pulley. I have oils, basic oils, transmission fluids and power steering fluids, small amount of engine oil, general spares, nuts, bolts, self-tapping screws, tape and things like that. Those are my most important spares for this vehicle. Fuel, the most likely. Look, if my starter motor fails now, I'm buggered. Nothing I can do. I've got Starlink help. What else can I do? There's nothing else I can do. But they are very reliable. So I'm not actually concerned. All right. Thomas says here in Europe the focus seems to be original manufactured equipment, 80s, 65 for white box 4x4 camper vans. Yeah. Alright. I'm probably going to wrap this up now. Thank you so much, guys, for being part of it. It's been actually fun having some company. It's a very, very lonely place. Very, very lonely place. And I'll continue taking pictures, and I might go out for a long walk, but I get even quite close by, the ground is quite soft, so I can't actually go for a long walk towards the pan, into the pan. The color of the pan is very dark. It's normally white. It's dark because it's wet, and if it's wet, you slide on it. Even shoes. Yeah. Okay, guys, let me know and keep in touch. I will try and give more warning. I couldn't because I was struggling so much with the electrical system. My focus was I needed to get it sorted because it was really important for me to get this vehicle working, because I got an entire trip ahead of me and I rely on the electrical system to work. So that's why I didn't give enough warning. I will try and give you more warning. I will, both you Patreons and for the guys on ASPW Experience. So, all right. Want me to just leave it running on for a while? I'll leave it running for a few minutes. Throw me a question if you have. Thank you. Great to be live. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Steve. And I will, guys, we'll see you. Thanks. Sorry I missed some of it. There's no worries at all. You can actually go into the channel and just use the same link, and you can watch the whole thing from the beginning. It's obviously not live, but you can watch the whole thing. Thanks for the lot. Cool, hot place. Good on you. Don't get stuck. Yeah. John, don't forget to leave a light on for the night walk. Do you want me to say yes or no? Do you want me to tell you about the night walk on the salt pans with Kate? If you have heard the story before, I won't tell you it. If you have, say yes or no. Do you want me to tell a story? Yes or no? Night walk on the salt pans. Not getting anything. There's a delay, so I'll wait. Okay, the bitrate is low. Okay. Yes, okay. One person said yes. Okay. It was on the Makarikari pans system. It looked very similar to this. It was on a pan called the Twitwe, west of here, with Kate. Pulled up like I am now, parked my green Troopy, side of the pan. It got dark. Like now, no moon, just stars. Brilliant, brilliant night sky. So I said to Kate, should we go for a walk? And she said, yeah, it's nice. Nice idea. I said, good. And I deliberately turned everything off on the van. Everything. Okay. And I took a bearing using the Southern Cross and started walking. Now, the landscape is absolutely flat. So there was no pinpoint that we could walk to, okay, for a bearing. It was only the stars. So I used the Southern Cross as my true south marker. Right, but I didn't tell Kate. And we started walking, and crunching on the ground, crunching, and I'd stop her and say, listen, listen. There'd be no sound. Walk a bit more, walk a bit more. And we lay on the ground, looking up at this mass, so it's the Milky Way. Absolutely amazing. We must have been out 45 minutes, an hour, and I said, okay, should we go back? Yeah, okay. Yeah, lead the way. We just had a little small torch. Yeah, lead the way. And I said, no, go. I'll lead you. I'll follow you. The look on her face, she went. She hadn't realised that I'd turned the lights off, and she kind of turned around like this, and she gave me this look, this holy crap, what have we done look. I said, okay, so you don't know which way to go, do you? I said, I know which way to go. Okay, this is on her face, the look of relief on her face. And I took a bearing, Southern Cross. I said, okay, I made a mark on the ground. I walked away from the mark. I lined it up with the Southern Cross. Okay, we're going to walk, and I deliberately did this. We're going to walk deliberately due north. So when we started walking, we walked due south. And so we started turning, and every now and again I would walk, look at my footprints, look at the Southern Cross. Yeah, we're good, we're still straight, and then walk a bit and look around and make sure, because we're not absolutely straight, but we're straight enough. Okay, we're heading due south. I said, what happens if we miss the van? We don't see it, it's not there. Well, because we're gonna hit the edge of the pan, right? Yeah. So if we hit the edge of the pan and there's no, our troop is not there, what are we going to do? I don't know. Because it could be that way or it could be this way. And I said, right. So what you do is you deliberately put an error in. You do it on purpose. So what I had done is I'd gone south, north, 1 degree off. So all the walk, we were at least 1 degree off, maybe 2 degrees off. And we did exactly that. We arrived. And you can see here the edge of the edge of the pan, this tussock grass. We arrive at the edge of the pan, and I said, because I know my error was to the right. She said, yeah, that means you know to turn left. I said, absolutely, turn left. And we walked 200 meters, not even that. There was our vehicle parked there. And it was a little lesson for her, I think, in be aware. Just be aware of, don't trust people. You should, she should have known it herself, but she's not, I'm not trained that way. I just learnt it. She's not learnt it. So now, that was, to her, it was an eye-opening lesson, I think. She's a complete airhead now still, so, but in the best possible way, to be honest with her. She's a very smart kid, but but I could see that she really enjoyed that experience, that learning experience, so much. She just enjoyed it. I enjoyed teaching it too. It was actually really, really fun. None of you said no. Yes, the upload speed is a normal Starlink is much better than a Starlink Mini. Well, Mini is what we got, and that's what we're going to have to use. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wind it up now. Thank you again so much for your good wishes and being part of my journey. See you in about a week's time. I'll give you better notice next time, and we'll do another thing with the whole family talking, doing their thing. See you soon.